Man, oh man, what a crazy weekend it's been with all the different rumors and all that stuff, which I'm not going to fall for. But let's just say we discuss one. No, I'm not going to discuss one. Plain and simple. It looks like nothing is certain. And I like that. I really do like that. Because it gets back to the core of what we should be doing. And that is playing our backlogs, right? So there's rumors about Nintendo potentially pushing stuff out. Who knows, right? There was no announcement, so they can't push out what was never announced. No big deal. And then people complaining about Sony and people complaining about Xbox. Guys, I think the biggest thing to take away from a lot of the past few days, few weeks really, I guess, because there's a good deal of uncertainty for the past few weeks, is that there's plenty to do. There's plenty you should play. And maybe focusing on, oh man, PlayStation people are really gonna be missing out on a bunch of gaming now that they did this. Ha ha ha. Dude, let me assure you, I'm someone who owns a PlayStation, and if I did not own an Xbox or a Nintendo Switch for that matter, I'd be perfectly fine. Why is that? Is it because PlayStation has better games than both of them combined? No, it's because I have so many games to play. Now, the greatest things that I have learned over these past few years of doing this more professionally is that I, for one, actually need to figure out what am I going to be drinking out of today. So we're going to go one. So we're going amber. So that means that I can use one of these as a dump cup. We're going to use the blue as a dump cup for right now. Yeah, there we go. Just getting water everywhere, but whatever. It's fine. I think I have I have a rag right here. Should be good to go. We're going AeroPress again because it's later in the day and I don't really want to have a full cup, so I'm going to go with a partial cup of coffee today. So that's why the AeroPress is going to make the hit. But the biggest thing, I said it off the cuff while I was kind of on one in one of my videos. I said, just, put your money where your mouth is and play the games you have. And it really ends up becoming a truer statement the more you think about it. I know that I, for one, have plenty of games to complete in my backlog. I have so many. And I'm always perusing the stores to be like, oh, what's the next game I want to play? It's just, that I think that honestly it comes down to just that the endorphin addiction. When you buy a game, you're like, ooh, this is exciting, this is fun, this is new. But then you realize that you're probably not going to play it anytime soon. And I know that's something that I have been dealing with a lot is like, oh, I'm going to go and purchase whatever game it may be. I get the game and then I'm like, oh, man, now I have to start a new game. I have 4 others that I've started recently and I just need to get through those before I even am able to attempt this new one that I just purchased. I, for one, just replugged in my Series S to my desk monitor. Before it was just plugged into the UpSpec Gaming X screen, which I am a huge fan of. Oh, this is kind of a tight fit, but we should be good. We're good. I'm a huge fan of the UpSpec Gaming the X screen. I haven't really worked with them before. I would love to work with them and do more formal stuff. I would love to partner with them and figure out how to do giveaways. But that Series S was connected to that because it just wasn't my main console. I'm not buying games for the Series S. I'm just using the PlayStation 5 as well as the Nintendo Switch. But I'll be honest, the Nintendo Switch is becoming more and more of a system that I just kind of look at and want to play, but don't have any reason to play it. Yes, Mario vs. Donkey Kong or Mario and Donkey, whatever it is, just released. And I watched some of the gameplay. I watched a cool creator, Josie Woe. She was playing it and it seemed fun. I like puzzle games and I may pick it up, but I'm in no rush because right now, this right here, I know I bring it up a lot, but this is really becoming quite a focus for me. The Steam Deck has become such a contender. It is such an incredible machine, so much so that so today would be Monday based on what you're watching. In 6 days, I am going on a trip. On that trip, I will be bringing only my Steam Deck and my Xbox Series S with the X screen. Those are the only 2 systems I'm bringing. I'm not bringing my Nintendo Switch. For the first time ever in all of my history of owning a Nintendo Switch, I am actually intentionally choosing not to bring it with me on a vacation. The only time, well, it's really more of a work trip, but the only time that I did that before was when I went on vacation to Hawaii with my family. And instead of bringing my Nintendo Switch, I opted to bring this guy, my SP. I may bring my 3DS because I purchased 2 games for my 3DS that I would love to play through again. Those being these 2. I have Fire Emblem Awakening and A Link Between Worlds. I was playing through Fire Emblem, the OG one, which I think is called the Burning Blade, on NSO, and it was a lot of fun. But I'm going to be honest with you. The Steam Deck has taken over my gaming as of late. And also, Xbox has reintroduced itself into my life, not because there's anything new, because realistically, there is nothing new. And for some people, that might seem like quite a turnoff for that system, and I would say it should be. You're looking at a system that has nothing new, why get it? Honestly, that is a turnoff. But for me, it's not that it's something new to play, it's that I'm more excited about playing the games that I have there, right? I have Halo Infinite, which I've been playing a lot with my buddy, and I have a couple other games that I've been playing as well. And so the Series S has a purpose. It is an access point for me to play certain games that I wouldn't be able to play otherwise. Now, I am playing through the Halo Master Chief Collection, but specifically I'm playing through that on my Steam Deck because that experience, I mean, there is something quite special about playing Halo this form factor. You know, you put in a good set of headphones and you're having a freaking awesome time playing Halo in this form factor. This machine right here has completely transformed the way that I look at how gaming could feel and could, moreover, look when it comes to, one, graphical fidelity, as well as the catalog. Up until this point, my portable gaming, or my, as I like to call it, flexi-lock gaming, flexible location gaming, has been pretty restricted to what Nintendo can offer me, because Nintendo has been the flexible location gaming guys, right? That's kind of the way that they went about it. And so I just stuck to that. Now, over the past few years, these guys have come out. Steam Deck, we had Logitech G Cloud trying to really push X Cloud service thing, which I didn't really quite love. And then we had, you know, different stuff like the Aya Neos and the Lenovo and all these different portable PCs start to come to market. Well, I had the Lenovo and I tried so hard. I had the Legion Go for almost 2 weeks, and I went back and forth as I do, going, should I keep it? Should I return it? Should I keep it? Should I return it? I finally chose, within 2 days of me being able to return it. And I have 3 main reasons why I returned the Lenovo Go, and I'm going to actually make a full-blown, beautiful, wonderful, dedicated video here coming out on Friday. Fridays will be the release days, or maybe it'll be Saturday. One of those 2s. It's either going to be a Friday or a Saturday, depending on which one the analytics like better, and truly it's for that. Yeah, probably one of those 2. Anyway, later in the week, you'll be getting a video that's going to be a dedicated video. It's not going to be a cup style video. It's going to be a dedicated video where I do compare the differences between, and if it's been past that point, you're watching this, you know, weeks and, you know, prior, then it's already out, and it will be linked at the end of this video for reference. But I have been, I want to make a very exhaustive Steam Deck experience up against a Legion Go, a Lenovo Legion Go experience. I know the Asus ROG Ally is another one, but I chose the Legion Go because I saw something special with it. The detachable handles, as well as the way that it can be transformed into a mouse, and you can really get that mouse and key kind of situation. Like, I see that as the really true 100% hybrid style of gaming that this is trying to emulate, right? With the Nintendo Switch, that's the hybrid, that you take off the Joy-Cons, you're good to go, you get a third-party controller really, or you get a first-party controller, whatever it may be. You get a standalone controller and you just go for it. Like, that's really the hybrid thing there. But what they did with that mouse, and, you know, the screen is massive, it was cool. I saw it as a viable contender for something special. And that's what I was looking for. Something special, because the Steam Deck, I wouldn't consider it to be anything inherently special. What the Steam Deck is it is access to a library that has, up until this point, right, with the exception of stuff like, I know that they have existed, but we're just going with the big boys that are really truly the viable options. Okay, up until the past few years, this library has been pretty locked to a somewhat stationary gaming experience. Laptops, of course, have always existed, but when it comes to gaming on a laptop, it's not the convenience that you would look for, right? Sitting on an airplane, whipping out the laptop, getting everything going, not really as convenient as taking out something like this. Can you get better graphical fidelity? Yes. Can you get more options when it comes to games? Yes. Now, that's something that I will cover in detail when I make this video that I noticed about something like this. And what I noticed was, if I really, really wanted to have that experience, that Halo experience, whatever, Helldivers, any of those, I guess I could still play Helldivers on Steam, but if I really want to have that experience, that long form, highly, better resolution, whatever it may be, why would I lean into a more powerful handheld when, if I'm going to be playing for 2 to 3 hours, I'm probably in a position where I can boot up a console and get after it. Or if I'm not that person, turn on my PC and get after it. You know what I mean? Like, this here is intended to be somewhat of a stopgap. It's rare. And if I'm off base, please let me know. Let's talk about it. But I would consider it to be a rare occurrence to hear someone say, yeah, all I have is a Steam Deck. I don't have anything else. I don't have a gaming PC. I'm a Mac user, so I have no way of actually accessing these games other than the Steam Deck. I don't have any consoles. This is all I have. That to me sounds super, super rare. Like a very, very small amount of people, if any at all, because of a few things. One, Steam Deck, it utilizes a Steam library. And so people who have PCs are like, oh, this could be an actual cool way for me to get out and still continue to play some of the games I like to play on my PC, but I can play it on my Steam Deck, cross saves is there, we're good to go, right? Or if someone like me who is new to this is like, well, Steam has a very, very affordable entry point when it comes to games, and so some of the games that I want to play on the go, but they're not available to me on the go because they're either locked to a console like a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox. There's really no good way of playing it portably because the PS Portal requires it's not good. The PS Portal is not really a good option, and the Xbox, the G Cloud is there for xCloud, but really is not the best one either. Although you can do something similar to that on here, but you do Xbox streaming. But at any rate, this is an alternate rather than a main. Now, does it mean that this only is played as the lesser of the two? No, actually, in a lot of cases, it changes. And for me, it has, right? I have a PlayStation 5. I have all of them. But I find myself more inclined to be like, yo, I want to get after, you name it, but I want to play it handheld, right? There are instances in which I would prefer not to play it handheld, and in some ways, in a few very, very specific ways, there are some instances in which I have introduced an inconvenience, right? One in particular is I am playing through, and I have made myself a goal of getting through all of the Final Fantasies. So I'm currently going through Final Fantasy 1. Let me know if you guys would like to see that live in some capacity, because if you would, we can figure something out. But that would be another conversation for another time. I'm trying to play through all the Final Fantasies. I own all of the Final Fantasies on Steam. I went out and purchased them. For $100, I was able to acquire Final Fantasy 1 all the way through Final Fantasy 15 with every additional DLC, with the exception of Final Fantasy 11 and 14, because both of those are online gaming experiences, of which I don't play MMOs. They're just not my cup of coffee, so to speak. But I also, on accident, own those games. Some of them, I own 7 through 10 on the Nintendo Switch. And I own 1 through 16 and 7 Remake and all those, and every single one. I own every single, actually, Final Fantasy game that's available on PlayStation. Would I like to be able to sit down at my desk and play Final Fantasy 1 and then also cross-save it to my Steam Deck? Yes. Is that possible through PlayStation? No. Is that frustrating to some extent? Yes. Do I wish it was possible on PlayStation? Yeah. now that I think of it. I do have a mini PC that I'm starting to use by Geekom because I am going to enter into PC gaming. The focus is these portable PCs because I believe they're the future and I want to learn more about them. And so if I want to learn more about them, I need to focus on them. And also just the technology that comes with it, because I believe there's some innovation that we're going to experience going forward. I think that Nintendo is pretty much an iteration phase. Xbox is certainly in some weird phase, but you know, I'm here for it. And PlayStation has always been in iteration phase. All PlayStation does is change the form factor of their devices to something ungodly large, and then change their controller just a smidge, sometimes introducing something crazy like DualShock, and then other times doing something almost nothing like DualShock 2 or DualShock 3 or whatever it may be, and then something like the DualSense where they're really introducing something pretty special and spectacular like this haptic feedback kind of gaming and situation like that. Adding a touch to a freaking controller like they did with the was that the PlayStation 4? At any rate, this one's non-consequential. Where true innovation in this space is going to take place is going to be in the portable PC market, because there's only so much that a gaming console can do to deliver an experience that is going to be revolutionary. Nintendo did the revolutionary coffee, right? Nintendo did the revolutionary thing. They said, you like portable? You like sitting down? Let's do both, except not like we used to. 1-in-1, but instead together. Boom. I can't imagine, but maybe no, because that was something that we all wanted, right? We all wanted that kind of gaming since the PlayStation 1, right? Because the PlayStation 1, remember the PS1? That mini little thing that you could attach a display, much like what we have with the X Screen by Upspec Gaming, right? And all the other G-Story and all these different ones for the Xbox. G-Story makes one for the PlayStation 5, which I do have. Crazy enough, it makes the PlayStation 5 even larger, one of the largest. It's still not as large as an Alienware gaming laptop. Would have been funnier if I didn't screw that up as I said it, but all jokes aside. We do see that gaming as a whole, I don't know where it could go. VR is a thing, but come on. The Apple Vision Pro is hitting the scene and everyone's freaking out about that, but I just don't like the idea of a experience that is that immersive and that close to you. And not because immersive experiences are inherently bad, although I'm sure there's arguments against them because they're not real, but rather it removes you from reality that can exist. And much like 3D in movies, I think that a good story, because I am a story-based player, a good story truly should be the focus of the experience rather than the actual overall delivery of that story, right? Let me give you an example. We have some, different VR stories that exist out there, VR games that exist. And almost always the game that you're playing is somewhat exciting because of the immersive nature that it may have. Oh man, this is crazy. I'm in this world. This is awesome. But then you have games that's the story itself. I was talking with a different gaming creator, Insight Gaming, over on his channel while he was streaming Final Fantasy VII. And we were talking, because his favorite game is Final Fantasy X, and mine is too, about a moment in Final Fantasy X. If you haven't played it, I'm not going to spoil it, but there is a moment in Final Fantasy X where as children, because we were in our early teens when that game released, as children, it was so unbelievably compelling that it brought us to tears. Insane. Same with Kingdom Hearts when I was a kid. And now even older, Final Fantasy XVI, upon completion of that game, the rest of my day was changed. And I still to date think back on that game's story and think to myself, wow. There are elements of that story that I still extrapolate and will want to even apply to my life because there are some pretty sacrificial and incredible things that happen throughout the whole story of that game from the very, very beginning all the way through the end. And so those are the moments in gaming that I believe are the most important. And the delivery of that story is not the media that exists, rather the device that carries that media, correct? Right? So like VR can be immersive by definition, but very, very surface level in depth of content quality. And something like Ori can be very, very shallow when it comes to its gameplay nature. It's a 2D side scroller, what is it called? A Metroidvania, so to speak. A very simple game, very simple structure, but the story is so compelling that the depth at which you reach when it comes to emotion is very, very high. So I look at the future of gaming and I think technologically, the big things that we can expect are an increase in quality so that we can maintain a level of interaction with our games that aren't distracting because of textures, frame drops, something like that, right? And I think that that is really the big push here. Performance isn't anything for me to shake. It doesn't make me feel, oh wow. Just because Kratos has more beard hairs doesn't make the game better. Rather, it removes the barrier between you and the experience that is existing behind the screen, whichever screen it may be, whether it's a PS Portal or a TV or a gaming monitor. The better the game, the higher the quality, the better the resolution, the less of a distraction the interaction can go through, right? That doesn't make sense the way I said it, but you understand what I'm getting at. And so as gaming progresses, I think that FlexiLock gaming is going to be something that is focused on. PlayStation clearly has their sights based on the Portal on trying to make something happen when it comes to some sort of flexible location gaming. Xbox's Series S is the closest we got to flexible location gaming, which I mean, yeah, I love it. But you can find your access to their game library on PC Game Pass, which then you can put it on to stuff like the Lenovo Go or the Ally, which I haven't tried the Ally. It's a very compelling product, but I just don't like that these gaming PCs are Windows based, which they have to be, I understand, but the Steam Deck just isn't. The Steam Deck is so unbelievably just solid. It is so solid in its delivery of these games. It is the least powerful device that exists in the lineup, yet it is the most stable out of all three. That right there truly is the definition of what I want in my gaming experience. Stability. I want consistency as far as the gaming experience. Can you adjust things here and there because it is still, quote unquote, a gaming PC device? Yeah, portable PC. Sure, you absolutely can. Absolutely. And you should to get the best gaming experience possible. But it is not weighed down by the Windows experience that does exist, and because it is a portable device, it may not always be connected to internet and in a state in which it can receive the updates it needs to receive and maintain the battery level that you left it at over the course of a few days. And so something like the Lenovo Go, which I experienced over the 2 weeks I had it, and I can imagine that the Ally does the same. Since they are Windows-based, they are needing to maintain some level of connectivity to that internet access so that it can keep getting updates on multiple things, not just this OS like SteamOS, but other drivers, game updates, stuff like that. And so in doing so, what ends up happening is we have a much more convoluted and complicated gaming experience as it stands today in 2024. Do I think that it can change? Sure. Do I think there should be a custom Windows OS on these that should be flashed, that should feel different? Yeah. Does that already exist? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a Windows guy. I don't know yet. I plan on learning all I can. But for me, this experience allows me to play through the backlog I have. And so when I read rumors that I'm not going to cover because I just made a mistake with covering the last one, and I just don't care because I don't really care to have my channel be carried by fake things. But when I am bombarded by rumors because every other creator is just focused on them, like, you know, Nintendo Switch being pushed back, PlayStation not selling enough consoles so they're in trouble, Xbox having nothing to play, doesn't matter. Because the games that exist in this space right now, well, they're not going to play themselves. I own them for a reason. At some point, whether I purchased it on sale or just purchased it now, I purchased it because I wanted to play it. And so if Nintendo gets pushed back, if PlayStation can't deliver this year, if Xbox has nothing to show for itself, if any of these things exist in this space, which are all the negative rumors that exist because people like to capitalize on negativity because you unify people, it's easier to unify in negativity than it is to unify in positivity, which I've noticed. It doesn't matter. I don't care if Xbox doesn't release a game I'm into for the next year. I don't care if all they have is Call of Duty for their name, and that's the only way that they're going to push on, and they're going to, rally behind Call of Duty. Doesn't matter to me, I have Final Fantasy 1 through 15 to get through, right? And 7 Rebirth, which is going to rock my world. I have Crisis Core to play right now. You know what I mean? I'm in the process of getting through some games myself, and I'm very excited for that. Do I want a new Nintendo system with new Nintendo games to play because I am someone who loves those franchises? Yeah. Do I want it last year? Yeah. Am I somewhat disappointed that we haven't seen it yet? Sure, I would love to see it. Am I expecting it? No. My Nintendo Switch has served me so well as a gaming console. There are games I haven't played, they're still in cellophane wrap here, and I may get to them, or I may not, and I may just say the Nintendo Switch was a great experience for what it was. I'll come back to it from time to time, but the games that exist for me right now live elsewhere, and so I will go and play them elsewhere. Does it mean that Nintendo is in trouble? No, there's just nothing for me to play there right now. Does it mean that PlayStation's in trouble because there's allegedly no first-party things and people are so weird about that? That's the weirdest thing for me, is the focus on, oh, look at PlayStation. Like, how about turn on a video game system and play it? Because if you're just going to run your mouth rather than run your character, you're wasting everyone's time. I don't understand. Someone asked me, like, well, explain to me this. PlayStation's doing that. Explain to me how you could, how PlayStation gamers, and they said it's something very different, are going to be able to play this game or whatever. And I was just like, no, I don't care. I don't care to explain it to you. I don't care to explain it to anyone because I don't care. I have Ni no Kuni 1 and 2 to play here on the Steam Deck. I have Rebirth to play on the PlayStation 5. I have Infinite to play on the Halo. On the Halo box, on the Xbox, right? I have, Metal Gear Solid to play on the Switch, but I have not much to play on the Switch right now. Paper Mario will be played. I will be grabbing the Switch again and getting after some Paper Mario. I think I might get Mario vs. DK. I don't know yet. It looks fun. It looks like a mobile game I would play on my cell phone. I don't know. But really, if I can get to anything, is to reiterate that this right here is so much more than I thought it would be. And I'm not talking about the Steam Deck, but I'm talking about this idea of portable PCs and also this window to a gaming world I've never experienced, PC gaming. I'm very excited to eventually get deeper into that and understand it. And understand the technology behind it, what it takes to get involved in it. Is the experience on PC really as good as is the updates and all the different things? Is that something that really is cumbersome? Because it certainly is on something like the Ally or the Legion Go. That's something that's so fascinating to me. And as I want to experience more, I want to learn about it. But as a dad, this covers my bases. If I didn't have a YouTube channel, or if this goes away because I decide it's time for it to be finished, this is more than good enough for me. Because right now, what am I playing? Turn it on. Crisis Core. And it looks good. I'm in the pause menu. Let's see. I'm running around, looking around, going crazy. 87, I'm at 85 frames per second. That's all for me today, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your week. Grab a game, play it, and have fun. Forget all the noise. All right, happy gaming.